Alright, well, it's back yet again for another video at CNS Organics. These guys all seem to be doing real well. As I mentioned in my last video, I installed a lot of the electrical work, the Romex wire and the switch boxes, switch plates, and the electrical plugs. It helped out a lot. I had extension cords everywhere, and I had said in the last video I knew where they all went and everything else, but I guess I didn't, because now when I turn on a heater or a heat lamp, my lights don't dim. So I've actually got two circuits going in here instead of just the one as before, because I added additional heat. Just because a heater's cheap doesn't mean that it's efficient. And this little heater over here is a 12 amp heater, and it doesn't do a very good job. So I'd stay away from trying to save money on cheap heat. Other things to talk about, like I said, everything's doing good on both systems. This guy right here, I want to mention this because I think it's important. I had said in my last video that we had had some celery, and we ate what we did, and we left the butts. These guys are starting to regrow. I think that's pretty awesome when you can take a produce and regrow your own. Zero money involved, if you will. I mean, yeah, there's always money involved in everything, but we bought it. We chopped up what we were gonna have, and the leftover, which would normally go into the trash, we just shoved it down here into the nitrogen, the gravel, and they're starting to grow. Even this other one here, last video, it didn't have any of that green in the middle. So I think that's pretty awesome to be able to regrow your own food, even from produce. A lot of these plants came from seeds. Actually, I think absolutely all of them except for that one here. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I'd have to guess it's probably a summertime flower or something. We had got it for free at a farmer's market. They were giving them away to kind of advertise their business, and we put some outside and they did okay. Put this guy in here and he just went crazy. So I really am not for sure. Leave a comment, let me know what it is. Just a quick update. Yeah, these tomatoes are still a mess. Definitely are. We do have some starting to ripen up, and we have some more here. I picked quite a few yesterday. There's some more over there. Put it down in the fish tank. The fish are doing good. Water's nice and clear. Everything's going great. There's a lot of things that I would like to change. I built the aquaponics systems, and then I built the greenhouse, and now I'm doing the electrical. And I'm kind of doing it backwards. I started in the summertime when it was nice, and so I've kind of done it backwards. If I had to go back, I would start with the greenhouse, do all my foundation work, add some protective barrier, some type of weed barrier or something, and do the gravel for the bottom. This is just dirt floor. You can see it's cracking out. I would change things up a little bit. This is all an experiment. Like I said, I've been going for about 4 or 5 months now. Everything's doing good. I don't want to discourage anybody, but I would definitely do it different. And I'll probably we got 3/4 acre lot, which isn't huge, but I will probably add another greenhouse and build it first and get it leveled off and get it appropriate and get it wired up and everything right, and then start building my aquaponics system inside of it. So my next chapter would be the other direction. In my last video, I also mentioned how I had one row of lights right down the middle, And yeah, you saw my hand saying here and here. Well, there you go. You got the lights in there, they're doing good. The plants aren't leaning, stretching for the light like they were. That guy there's kind of leaning a little bit, but I think it's more of how heavy it is, and it just doesn't have enough wind in here. One thing I'm going to touch on about a greenhouse is I did have a huge problem with the moisture. My last video was the day after Thanksgiving, just a few days ago, and even though it was raining outside, I had 75% humidity inside, which is great, but everything was sweating. I mean, the walls were sweating, all of this corrugated plastic up on top was sweating, you know, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I did a little bit of research, and your plants themselves actually produce quite a bit of moisture. So what they don't consume, they'll put it out through their leaves. And I talked about it in a couple videos back about how I may, you know, restrict how much light. So what I did, let's see, all the light circuits, this is all still sort of kind of temporary, but all the light circuits come up to wire going over from there, over from here, and then down, and I just put a plug in, and I put this little timer in, and I'm not sure about the people that made this guy. Let's see if you can see it. So if you really look, it has AM and PM, and the AM starts at 6 o'clock and the PM starts at 6 o'clock. It was a little confusing. There's a little cheap guy from Walmart, and to the best of my knowledge, AM and PM starts at, you know, noon and midnight. So it kind of threw me off to get it set up, but now I've set it up for a lot less hours of run time, and all of my ceiling is super clear, that there's no moisture or anything on it. So just restricting my lights on how often I keep them on made a huge difference. I know just when I spanned around, you see this here, believe it or not, I was actually fooling with my my computer stuff and videos and everything, and I was like, what in the heck is going on? I got water seeping in, it's not raining. And as we step outside, most of the dirt's not wet, but it is wet here. One of the neighbors had put this fish aquarium, it's a 55 gallon, I believe. It may be a 60 long, but he had put it out on the curb, and so I said, well, I'll put water in it and just see if it holds water. It was free, and if it holds water, great. And so I thought I'd fill it up, and then I got distracted and it overflowed, and in turn I had water coming in just a little bit right here, which will dry up pretty quick. So that one there, I'm not for sure if I'm gonna do a fish tank or if I may do like a sump tank with an overflow and a biological filter. I'm not real sure. I just got it for free, like maybe an hour ago. It was on the curb, looked like it was in good shape, so I'll give it a little bit and see if it holds water. If it does, I'll make a stand for it, and I'll use it somewhere. Life stuff doing good. I did have a problem with this fish tank here. I noticed a big water difference over time. Used to, I could set up a fish aquarium and let it run for about 24 hours and put fish in and have no problems. Well, this one here, I did about a 30% water change 2 days ago. And that 30% water change killed everything in there. I still got the same carbon filters going. I got everything, I swapped them out, I mean everything else. But the water that came here to the house, the local water, used to be 100% right on the money for fish. I mean, I could just top off the tank. I could do a 75% water change and fill it from the faucet or from a water hose, and they just did great. And our water has changed, so keep that in mind when it comes to aquaponics, aquaculture, taking care of your fish. I went ahead and picked up a couple more koi today. One's kind of a long fin, kind of a gold and white, and the other one's a silver with a red dot. I really like those guys. I'm hoping they'll end up doing well. My mother-in-law, Miss Norma, she had this rock on her front porch. She had got it from somebody, and I said, "Hey, what are you doing with that?" And she said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, can I use it?" And it's actually just on loan. She wants it back, maybe in a year or two. I told her I was going to put it in the fish aquarium, and she said, "Great." She just let me borrow it for now. But anyways, I can ramble and ramble and ramble. Those are just mainly some of the big keys that I noticed. Is, for one, restrict your lights on how long they run per day. That will cut down on your humidity and also the condensation. I had condensation when it was 70 degrees outside, and it was like 76 out here. The walls and the ceiling was just dripping. Right now, I'm not sure if I can read it. It's about 60 degrees in here, about 50 degrees outside, and I have zero condensation anywhere. All the windows have cleared up, everything else, and it's just putting it on that timer, which, like I said, I had to kind of figure out. But I plan on, with the just a little box fan, something I had. It does pretty good blowing. But up in this area, I'm gonna put a fan bringing air in, which will be like an attic fan. I looked at different fans, some are pretty expensive. And I actually found attic fans that some of them even have a humidity controller on them to kick on or kick off, or a temperature. And they're relatively cheap, like 65 bucks, you know, really good. So I plan on putting one up there. And then at the far end as well, up here on the top side, hopefully to pull all the moisture from the lower side up to the top side, and just to be able to ventilate this place a little bit better and a little bit cheaper, a little bit more efficient. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can see me at cnsorganic@gmail.com. You can leave comments below. Please subscribe, please like, and each week I hope to do a little bit more, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. Here from Texas, thanks y'all.